Today, Tuesday, the 26th of November 2024, we have some handpicked match predictions to share with you, which will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpicked match prediction based on big league events like the Champions League, the Europa League, the Conference League, Premier League, as well as our top 10 and top 15 match prediction based on goals probability to take your winning to the next level, then of course you want to make sure that you become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan to start to have access to all our game prediction picks which we share to members only to take your winning to the next height. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video description. You can easily click on it, navigate and join to become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan to have access to all of these features. So without wasting time, I'm going to begin with the first match pick of today's list. Looking at the first event, we are looking at Russia Cup, a match between Tymen playing against Krasnodar. For this event, the performance of the home have proved that they are very much conceding, and they have conceded like about 1 to 4 and 3 goals per each event based on recent event they have had. Its opponent, on the other hand, have proved to be more offensive as compared to that of the home. And looking at the away, they have mostly had games, especially in the Premier League of Russia, which is a stronger team as compared to the home team, which has mostly had events, especially in the FNL. And looking at this, of course, the performance of Krasnodar based on recent game, have been better in terms of the Premier League event. But that of the home, of course, they do concede as much based on recent event they just had. And looking at everything in place here, we want to look at two major picks in this event in full time. Looking at this particular event, the away team is from a higher league, and of course, the home is from a weaker league. Looking at the fact that this is a cup, the away team having a good form based on the league it is from, it will try to take that form to bring in this particular cup, trying every possibility to try to lead this game in full time as one of the major picks, or also want to look at the possibility of a double chance for the away team in full time. Looking at the next, we'll look at Europe in the Champions League. That is a match between Slovan Bratislava against AC Milan. Looking at the performance of Slovan based on recent events they have had, they prove that they are good in terms of offense, and the fact that they are from, as you can see here, from Slovakia, it is not as very tough as compared to AC Milan from the Serie A of, as you can see, Serie A of Italy. Looking at the performance of Italy based on recent events they have had in the Serie A, they have proved to be very offensive, scoring 3 goals per each event based on recent event. And they also just had game, especially in the Champions League against Real Madrid, where AC Milan lead by 3. Looking at the recent performance in terms of stand based on recent event they have had, of course, AC Milan, which is the away team, as you can see here, proved to be on a better stand. For 4 games played, they've had 8 goals scored. That is 7 goals scored and 6 conceded. But Bratislava, on the other hand, proved to concede very much, receiving 15 goals for just 4 games played. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks for this particular event in full time. Looking at this particular event, of course, the performance of the away team, AC Milan, have proved to be very offensive based on recent event they have had, comparing to that of the home team. The fact that the away team, AC Milan, is from Serie A, and their performance based on recent game played, especially in the Champions League, with tough team like Real Madrid, where they had a lead. Of course, the performance against this particular opponent, which is the home, AC Milan will still try every possibility to lead in full time as one of the major pick. And also looking at the fact that the home Slovan Bratislava do not have a good defense, AC Milan want to also take that chance of having goals here. So we are looking at AC Milan to score in this match at least 1 goal over, as well as the possibility of AC Milan to lead, and also 1.5 goal in this event in full time, or 2 goals over. These are our major picks. 1, AC Milan to lead. 2, AC Milan to score over 1 goal. 3, at least 1.5 goal or 2 goals to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we'll look here in the Champions League. This time, Sparta Prague against Atletico de Madrid. Looking at this, Sparta Prague is from, as you can see here, from the Czech Republic, Fortuna League, as you can see. But Atletico de Madrid, on the other hand, is from the La Liga, which performance have proved to be very offensive based on recent events they have had. They also recently had a game in the Champions League against PSG, where Atletico lead by 2-1. To tell us that Atletico is a tougher team, and have played games with major teams like in that is the Champions League against PSG and also from La Liga. But the home team performance, of course, is from not a very strong team as we have seen. And now comparing the stance of these two based on the table, you're going to see that Atletico de Madrid proved to be better as compared to that of Sparta Prague, even though the offensive power of both sides is almost of the same based on this game played. But Atletico Madrid, of course, want to take that chance to try to see that they lead this game in full time. As a result, we want to look at two major picks. For this particular event, we want to look at the possibility of Atletico de Madrid to try every way to either lead this match or to give it a double chance, since it's from a higher league, and of course, its performance based on recent events they have had, especially in the Champions League against some tough team where they had a lead, and also the performance in its own league where the performance has been proved to be great as compared to the home team based in its own league. Of course, we want to look at the away team Atletico de Madrid to try every possibility to lead or to give it a double chance as the major pick for this event in full time. We're just looking at 1.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next here, we look at Spain Cup, a match between CP Pala against Valencia. That is, looking at this, the performance of Valencia based on the way have proved that they are good in terms of scoring 1, 2, and 4 goals per each event recently. And they are mostly from La Liga. Looking at that of the home, you can see that they are not very offensive and they do concede a lot. And they are mostly had games event, especially in the Coupe de Rey. And you can see here in the club friendly as well as in the TROG7, which is a lesser team gameplay. And looking at the performance of this based on Valencia from La Liga and CPA from a lower league, as you can see here, we want to look at two major picks in this event in full time. Looking at this particular event, of course, Valencia is a way more higher league comparing to that of the home. The performance of Valencia based on recent event have proved to be better. And the fact that the home team is not from a strong league, of course, we want to look at Valencia to take advantage of the fact that the home team is not very strong to lead it in full time, as well as the possibility of Valencia to score more goals here. So this brings us to at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. That is Valencia to lead, 1.5 goal in full time as a second pick, and also the possibility of at least 2 goals over. Looking here at the next, we look still in the Coupe de Rey, which is the Spain Cup, a match between Manises against Getafe. Looking at this, of course, Manises, which is the home, is mostly has had game recently, as you can see here, just a single game recently in the CDR, which is a very low league. And even though the performance here is great, but of course this team league is very low. And looking at Getafe from the La Liga, the performance is not that very much great. And just one game against Valladolid, where they had a lead here, and they are now coming to meet. The fact that Getafe is from a higher league as compared to that of the home, we want to look at two major picks in full time. For this particular event, Getafe, the away team, is from a higher league, and therefore want to look at it to take advantage of the weak team of the home. And looking at the fact that Getafe to lead this match in full time is one of our major picks, as well as we want to look at least 1.5 goals in this event in full time as the next possibility. Looking at the next here, we'll look at Europe in the Champions League, a match between Barcelona against Brest. The recent game played by Barcelona from the Liga, as you can see, have proved to be good and very offensive, especially the recent Champions League match they had against Krevna Zvezda, where they lead by 5-2. This time, of course, looking at that of Brest in the France League 1, as you can see here, its performance have proved to be very conceding. And now they are coming to meet each other in this particular Champions League tournament, round 5. Barcelona, of course, based on the recent stand, have proved, as you can see here, to be very offensive. They have had 4 games played, 15 goals scored, and 5 conceded. But that of Brest, on the other hand, the offensive power is not as great as Barcelona. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at two major picks here in full time. For this particular event, of course, Barcelona, the home team, have proved to be more offensive. And the fact that they are from a better league, looking at the fact that in recent performance, game played, have been very great as compared to that of the away. Therefore, we want to look at Barcelona to lead Brest in this match as one of the major picks, or looking at the possibility of at least 1.5 goals to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we look at still the Champions League, but this time by Leverkusen against Salzburg. Looking at the performance of Leverkusen recently, they have proved that the offensive power is good, scoring 1 to 5 goals per each event. The opponent Salzburg, on the other hand, is mostly, as you can see, have had game in the Austria Bundesliga where the performance has not been good. The Bundesliga by Leverkusen from Bundesliga have proved that its recent gameplay performance has been better as compared to Salzburg. Looking at the stands performance placement of these two on the table of these Champions League performance, you're going to see that Leverkusen sit on the 13th position and its opponent Salzburg sits on the 30th. And the fact that Salzburg is not very defensive, conceding 10 goals for 4 games, we want to look at Leverkusen to be the favorite here in this event in full time. As a result, we want to look at 2 major picks. For this particular event, we want to look at Leverkusen to try to lead this game in full time or to give it a double chance, since its performance in its own league has been has been better as compared to that of the away. Therefore, we want to look at Leverkusen to either try to lead in full time or to give it a double chance with just 1.5 goals in full time. Looking here, the next, we look in the Champions League, Europe Champions League, but this time Man City against Feyenoord. The performance of Man City recently has not been very great, especially based on recent events with tough teams which they have recently encountered against. Feyenoord, on the other hand, in the Eredivisie, have proved that they are good at offense. And looking here at the stands of this tournament based on these 2 teams, you're going to see that their placement here proved that, as you can see, Man City have a great offense based on the recent games they have had for this particular tournament. But that of Feyenoord, on the other hand, proved that they are also good at offense, that the defense is not that very tight. And therefore, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the 2 sides want to impress. And the fact that both offense are good and the defense is not that very locked, of course, especially that of Feyenoord, where the defense is not very tight, we are looking at goals probability. Since both sides want to impress, there will be more shots on and off target resulting to goals, and therefore we want to look at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we look in the Champions League, but this time Young Boys against Atalanta. Performance of Young Boys in the Switzerland Super League based on recent events they have played have proved that they are good, but that of Atalanta, on the other hand, in the Serie A have proved that they are very offensive and have had major game played in the Champions League against Stuttgart, where they had a lead. This time, of course, they are coming in the Champions League in the phase 5 of this tournament and want to look at their various placement. Looking at the fact that Atalanta is the favorite here, their defense is very amazing. That of Young Boys, which is the home, of course, is not very good in terms of defense, and therefore Atalanta want to take that advantage of the weak defense. As a result, we want to look at 2 major picks for this event in full time. For this particular event, of course, the performance defense of the home, which is Young Boys, is very weak. But that of Atalanta, on the other hand, have a very strong defense. Therefore, the probability of the home to lead against Atalanta is very hard. We therefore want to look at Atalanta as the favorite to either lead this match in full time as one of the major picks, or looking as well as the possibility of Atalanta to score over 1 goal due to the result of the weak defense of the home. These are our 2 major picks for this event. And to those of you who want to have access to our hand-picked events, which we share to members only, based on big league events like Premier League, Champions League, Europa League, for upcoming games with huge odds, as well as our top 10 list of 1.5 and 2.5 goals and corner kick events to take your winning to the next high, then of course you want to make sure to join to become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan to have access to all of these features to take your winning to the next level. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.